Hello everyone, it's Almighty Schwan here, and this video is pretty much about me explaining what is going to be happening at the beginning of this year, what's going on with like YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, tons of stuff that's going to be going on in the beginning of this year, and I think it's important for me to be more, especially transparent on what's going to be going on. The reason why I want to explain myself before I get into the full video on why this took so long is because I had to edit certain pieces of this video differently because I had to split them into different segments. So this video is split into segments that there are 7 different segments in this video, and I'm going to explain them what's going to be going on right now. So the first segment is about pretty much me talking about Twitch and how things went for streaming generally last year, and especially how it was my first year streaming, and what I'm going to be looking into for the future, and some tweaks I might be ending up doing. That might also end up in the, I believe, 6th part. The second segment will be talking about YouTube changes and what is the YouTube changes that will be inevitably implemented in the beginning of February. That will definitely be a thing that we'll definitely talk about. The next one is TikTok. I know I don't do much on TikTok, but hopefully I can change that very soon. Maybe I can do some different stuff, but we'll definitely get there whenever we get there. The 4th part is about Discord, tips, Throne account, stuff like that. And I'm going to talk about each individual one in different kind of, not segments and not different parts, but kind of different in each single thing, and kind of give a more of elaboration on what's happening in between all those. And I think it's important for me to explain what's going to be going on, because some of these things might not happen just yet. The 5th part is pretty much what's going to be going on with Twitch. There is time stuff that I'm going to be changing, not days, but time stuff, and I'll explain that whenever we get to the 5th part. 6th part is about the games we'll be playing in the beginning of the year. So this is from January, so this month, to the end of May, and this is pretty much what we're going to be doing. Some of this stuff I want to preference that whenever we get to certain games, or we might not get to certain games, we will definitely get to them whenever we can throughout the rest of the year. And the last part is my road to my 1-year anniversary. My road to my anniversary is coming up very soon. And I want to talk about what I originally had planned and what was going to be going on, but now it's probably not going to be happening, sadly. But I also have a little brief announcement on what's going to happen during the summer, and an announcement date for that as well. Anyway, I hope that's a little bit of elaboration on what we're going to go through on this video. Let's start with part 1. So, let's get into part 1, and part 1 is about how last year on Twitch was. I did post the Twitch recap for content creator. It's kind of crazy that I had about over 200 streams. I streamed 5 different categories. Like I'm looking at it right now, 13 viewers was my max. 4.5k pretty much chats was sent. I would definitely say it was very an eventful year. I never thought that I would even have 30 followers, let alone at the end of the year, and that flabbergasted me to all from outer space to all the way back on Earth, because I never thought that would happen. My original goal was like, hey, if I hit 15 followers by the end of the year, I think I'm doing pretty good. 30 followers, that's kind of crazy to think about in the grand scope of things. And I want to thank every single one of you that has tuned into my streams, that just followed. Y'all definitely made 2023 a great year. Personally, I did not have a great year. It was really rough in 2023 for me. And me live streaming definitely helped out a lot. It definitely kept my mind off things. I loved interacting with people, and I love just streaming. I love doing content creating. I love doing this type of stuff. And it's been a passion of mine to do it for a while. And I just want to thank every single one of you to make the best 2023 I could have. But yeah, I would definitely say Twitch last year was very eventful. Off of that, I want to talk about like the stuff that I did last year in overall too on Twitch. I think Halloween was very eventful. I actually planned that out for multiple months. That started back in July that I thought about it. And I set it all up, contacted artists, did all this stuff, bought stuff. And I really focused on that because I really wanted to do it. And I think Halloween was a very big success. And we're definitely going to be doing it this year again. Whenever October rolls around, I already have some of the games we are definitely going to be playing. Some you already probably heard from stream. And like Alan Wake 2, Alone in the Dark remake, possibly Silent Hill 2 remake if that comes out this year. So there's a lot of stuff looking forward for this year too. But off of that, last year was very eventful, and I want to thank you all for all of that. Anyway, let's move on to segment 2 about YouTube. Well, let's get into part 2 of this, and this is about YouTube and the changes that will be inevitably happening over on YouTube. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because there are going to be some major changes going on over there. Now, why are there changes happening again? Well, mostly, if anybody remembers, I started doing YouTube doing 5 days a week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and not upload Wednesdays and Saturdays. I eventually switched that over to every day, but whenever I was doing that, I was editing videos, like my 3-hour videos, into four parts every single time. And let alone, if I stream even longer, I would edit those into like 10 different parts to make sure that I have them. I've realized that long form content is way much better over time. And I've noticed engagement being a lot higher with the long form content that I've been doing. And that's really good off of that. And maybe the YouTube algorithm is, working in my favor on that one. So I'm going to start uploading 5 days a week again. What does that mean? Am I going to do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday again? No. I'm going to upload. Now, this is going to start in February. So on February 3rd of 2024, that is going to be a big change happening over on SwansGaming. That we'll get into what's changing about SwansGaming too, off of that too. But this is all happening February 3rd. That I will be uploading Monday through Friday, depending on, the time zone, right? Right now is 5 p.m. PST. Once, time goes up, it will be 6 p.m. PST. And I think that's going to be wildly okay, like very popular to a point. But I think it's definitely going to help me personally to try to really sit down, edit videos. Because the biggest issue that I've been having, and especially recently, is me trying to get content out every day. Especially me uploading like an hour video. Sometimes I have no videos for that day. And it becomes a very big hassle because I'm like, oh my God, I have to wait until tomorrow. And that becomes a bigger issue on my side. That being said, that is one of the big changes that's happening. there is also something else going on. So if anybody remembers, back in September of last year, I made a video that about me combining the two channels together. And I never did it because I was like, you know what? Let's keep both channels. Let's keep them both rolling and see where it goes in a few months from now. In a few months, I have not uploaded a single video to Almighty Swan 64. I don't get me wrong. I've recorded, you know, the video game awards. I've recorded so much stuff. But back in November, after Swanoween, I finally made up my mind for a while now that I am going to officially combine both channels together. And the reason why I'm going to combine both channels together is for many different reasons. I do not upload to Almighty Swan 64 at all. I have currently like 21, 22 videos on there, and that's just the way it is. But I upload pretty much almost literally every day right now on SwansGaming. So what is going to happen? Am I deleting SwansGaming channel and moving all my Let's Plays over Almighty Swans? Or am I moving all those videos over to SwansGaming? I've thought about it, and here comes the problem that I have. If I was going to upload everything from SwansGaming to Almighty Swan, it would take me months upon months upon months to upload. There are about almost 700 videos that I have uploaded as Let's Plays on my YouTube channel for SwansGaming. So I made the rational decision to delete Almighty Swan 64. Now, that does not mean Almighty Swan 64 is going to cease to exist. SwansGaming is now going to be Almighty Swan 64, and that is going to be my primary YouTube channel from now on. You'll see reactions whenever they pop up. That might be over the weekend, that might be that day. It really depends on whenever I can get those uploaded. But overall, pretty much I'm going to be uploading Monday through Friday, starting the first week of February. So after pretty much February 3rd, this is definitely going to be beneficial just for me, and me not trying to stress over and trying to do two channels, let alone trying to, you know, stress over trying to upload every single day. And I think this is going to be very important for me to do, and very important for me doing content creating in the future and so on and so forth. I think it's also good for me to do it now instead of, you know, waiting until the end of 2024 to do this, because I have a lot to do, a lot of that I want to do in 2024, and that is pretty much it. Anyway, let's move on to part 3 of this, and let's talk about TikTok. Oh, good old TikTok, where the thing I never upload to. So, in the last part, we went over how I'll be changing, a lot of stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. And this is pretty much me going over what's going to be going on TikTok and what I'm going to try to do and so on and so forth. So I want to preference this that I edit everything myself. I do a lot of the stuff myself. So it's kind of hard for me to try to do this whenever I'm trying to upload and edit videos every single day to my YouTube channel. Now taking per se a Saturday, Sunday off completely, especially Saturdays off from editing YouTube videos and stuff like that, I can edit TikTok videos and, make little skits again and do many things that I personally want to do on TikTok and stuff like that. The other thing I want to do on TikTok is maybe my own opinions, right? On certain things that are happening in the gaming industry. I started becoming a little bit more vocal about certain things that are happening in the video game industry. I love football to death. I wouldn't mind doing, my takes on, certain football games. Probably just mostly with the teams that I that are my favorite and stuff like that. But that being said, I think that's going to be important for me to do and stuff like that is try to get more TikTok videos out there. So what is going to try to be a schedule? So I want to try to upload TikTok videos 2 times a week, maybe up to 3 times a week. I've said this before, but the reality is that I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to a plan. And I've said that before, but this is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on TikTok. This could be skits. This could be duets from other people. This could be video game, opinions that are like 1 minute, maybe a minute and a half long. Whatever I can think of, I will try to post it on TikTok. And I think it's going to be important for me to just get things out there and kind of maybe show my stream off a little bit. But yeah, I think that's going to be very important. I keep saying very important because it is. There's a lot of changes happening. And I hope this stays the way it is. I'm going to try my hardest with TikTok. But yeah, let's move into the 4th part about Discord tips and thrones and the throne account and stuff like that. Let's talk about Discord tips and my throne account and what's really going on with all 3 of these. And let's start with Discord. With Discord, I've been getting a lot of, stuff in my Twitch chat like, hey, you promised a Discord, you want blah blah blah, right? So I've been working on it. I've been going into like a Google Doc trying to figure out, hey, this is what I want in it, this is what I don't want in it. There's a lot of planning and stuff that I personally want to do with it. That here's the other thing that also might be the hindrance of possibly a Discord not opening up for the public. And I don't want to say this because I know this might make some viewers mad that I might, right now it's not even like officially up, right? Like the name is there and everything else, but right now, currently, what I'm trying to do is, make sure that everything is set up properly, what games I want in there, what servers I want in there, stuff like that, and make it more a thing for everyone to be in. But here's the thing that's been a hindrance to me is with my mods. My mods are not always there. My mods work a full-time job as much as I do too, pretty much. And they cannot pay attention to a Discord 24/7. Let alone my main mods, they have a child. They have to do stuff around, their place and stuff like that. And I understand that might not be the biggest hindrance to them. They'll probably tell me that. But the reality is that it really comes down, if something happens to that Discord and it becomes a problem, then it's going to be one of those things that I have to almost address myself, that I cannot address at all sometimes. And it's really where my mods come into play. That being said, will the Discord happen? Yes. I'm hoping to get it out by my 1-year anniversary or in May. That is kind of the time period that I'm hoping that I can get it around that time. But I am going to make a TikTok video explaining some stuff that might not happen with the Discord, and if the Discord is going to happen really at all, period. And the reason why it might not happen is because if we cannot pay attention to the Discord, a public Discord, and the moderators can also pay attention to it, there is some stuff that I want to address here too, with that, what I just said. If something goes on that we just cannot pay attention to it 24/7, because we don't know what type of people are going to come in and come out and stuff like that, then we're probably going to end up having to shut down the Discord to the public. And that is the big caveat with that. And I want to mention that right now because this is important for me to say that. That if things go awry, we might have to shut that down. And I don't want that to happen. I don't feel comfortable for that to happen. I want people to have a good time. I want people to have a good, good vibe whenever they come into the public Discord. But overall, there are some things that has to be addressed like that. The other thing is that, yes, there are going to be rules. There is going to be a 3 strikes you're out method in my Discord. First is a warning. If you do not heed by that warning, you pretty much get, I think you could time people out in Discord, but pretty much the third warning would be, sorry, you have to be banned from the Discord because of the irrational, problems that you are causing to the Discord itself. And that's not what I want to do, but there has to be rules and regulations be put in that place. And I hope people pay attention to rules because, let's be honest, if you don't read them and you do something, that might lead to a lot of bigger problems. But that being said, that's the way it is going to be. Now let's go to tips. I thought about putting tips up even last year, but here's the reality of the things. I don't really feel comfortable asking people for money for like tips and stuff like that, especially how small of a streamer I am. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I do this as a hobby. I don't, yes, I'm a small streamer. I don't feel comfortable doing it because of the fact of the matter is that I don't think it's personally right. Now, if this was a full-time thing, obviously I would, there's going to be a tip thing and, you can tip if you want to and so on and so forth if this was a full-time, thing. But off of that, I'm probably still not going to put tips on stream unless randomly I blow up or something like that. But overall, this is a, thing. But off of that, I'm probably still not going to put tips on stream unless randomly I blow up or something like that. But overall, this is a passion of mine. I would love to do this as a full-time career down the line. But right now, it's just a passion. I stream, to stream. I love streaming. And that's the thing that I personally just like doing. So probably tips are never going to come in the inevitable future, at least for this year, possibly. Next year might be a lot different kind of vibe to it on that one. Let's talk about Throne account. I have to set some stuff up in the background for myself for a Throne account. I do own a Throne account. But this is what I'm going to say. Because I am planning on putting a Throne account on my own channel, I do not want people to buy things on there that if you do not have the money. Now, there is a thing I want to talk about with the Throne account. I've thought about this for almost a year. And how do I approach the Throne account? How do I approach this thing? Because a lot of people will use Throne accounts to, maybe buy cookies for someone, stuff like that. Or maybe buy, like, I don't know, a plunger for a toilet. I don't know, right? Some weird shit, right? But the way I'm thinking about a Throne account is that I want to put that into my streams. I want to put that into my YouTube videos. I want to make my content better over the time. So that being said, there is going to be some things that are expensive on that list. One of the things that I will definitely be putting on that list is SSDs. That definitely helps me to create the content that I have on YouTube. This helps me to make sure that I have, enough space on my normal PC to do these type of things. And that's just me being honest here and stuff like that. I think that my Throne account will be a reflection on what I personally want for my stream. So, like SSDs, maybe new headsets if I do that, things that can improve the stream overall and just not myself, right? Maybe better audio quality, maybe better things in that department can definitely be put in there. But yeah, like I think that's going to be a reflection of that if I put the Throne account up. But if I definitely do, if I can get the things in the background settled, that's definitely going to be a thing that I definitely will put into that. That's pretty much all that's going to be happening with the Discord, with tips, and my Throne account. I think me addressing all three of them right now is the most beneficial thing to do. And yeah. If you don't like the answer that I like for Discord, that's the answer I got for y'all. I'm sorry for that. But let's move on to the fifth part about Twitch and what's going to be going on with that. Okay, let's move on to the fifth part of this video. And let's talk about Twitch. So we talked about Twitch and how an amazing year I had last year. And how, you know, I thank everyone for that and making an incredible 2023 and so on and so forth. But we got to talk about some changes that are going to be going on with Twitch. So currently I stream, depending on the time zone, from 9 p.m. PST to 1 p.m. PST or 10 p.m. PST to 2 a.m. PST, depending on daylight savings time, stuff like that. So there is going to be some changes per se with my time. And what do I mean by that? So for the last few months, probably around October, I definitely thought about this because of the fact of the matter is that I want to do more streams. I want to stream longer. I want to do more content on stream because I love streaming a lot and it's a passion of mine, and I just enjoy doing it. Like, generally really enjoy it. And I want to do more. And that's the thing, is that I want to do more and like longer streams and stuff like that. That being said, if I was going to do longer streams, there has to be time changes, right? There's no way I could start at 9 or 10 p.m. PST and be able to go until X amount of time, right? The biggest issue that I run into is if I want to do 8-hour streams per se on Tuesdays and Fridays, I will be I'll be up for an extra, 4 hours off of that for games and stuff like that. So depending on, let's just take 10 p.m. PST to 2 a.m. PST, right? Let's just go, because this is definitely going to be a thing very soon. So let's take it from that time point. If I end at 2 a.m. PST, then I am ending, that's a 4-hour stream. A 6-hour stream I'm ending at 4 a.m. PST. 8 hours I'm ending at 6 a.m. PST. And the reason why that becomes a problem is if I want to do 8-hour streams and 7 hours of gameplay in between that, I start getting tired around 4 a.m. I am very exhausted by then. I have things to do the next day, and like I said, I do all the editing, I do a lot of this stuff by myself, and it does become very taxing to me. So starting in also February on February 3rd, actually probably February 2nd, because that's whenever Persona 3 Reload comes out. That's one of the games we'll get into, the games I'm planning on playing for the beginning of this year. I will be officially starting at 7 p.m. PST, or with daylight savings time 8 p.m. PST to 11 p.m. PST, or 7 p.m. to X amount of time, 4 hours from then, and so on and so forth. And the reason why this is important for me to do is because then I can possibly do longer streams. I could do longer stuff, like gameplay and stuff like that, and be able to do that so on and so forth. The other thing that I'm also planning on doing, despite the time, because that definitely took a while for me to do, is I'm going to be switching up a lot of content on stream, right? It's not only going to be single player stuff. I'm going to throw some multiplayer in there, like some Warframe, maybe some, not Path of Exile, use Path of Exile for this demonstration. But yeah, I'm going to throw some of that stuff in there and here and there. And I'm going to throw some multiplayer, some single player throughout the streams. If I want to play a multiplayer game, I might just do it like on a 3-hour, 4-hour stream, like a Sunday and a Thursday, and leave the 2 big streams, like the 8-hour streams that I want to do on Tuesdays and Fridays for single player content only, because then still you're getting about 14 hours, 15, 16, 17 hours of gameplay throughout that time. That currently I'm only doing 19 hours of gameplay at that time. At this moment. So that being said, I think that's everything I want to address with what's going on with Twitch and what's going to be happening with times. So this all happens February 2nd, and we're going to get very deep into Persona. Just want to mention that. Anyway, let's move on to part 6 about the games I will be playing at the beginning of this year. So let's move on to the next part, and this is about the games that I'm planning on playing in the beginning of this year. So from January to May. So currently we are doing our Final Fantasy playthroughs for 7 Remake and Crisis Core. Depending on whenever we finish that one up, we will start playing Dragon Dogma Dark Arisen. And that being said, if we finish that in the end of this month, then I have some other extra games that we can play before Persona 3 Reload comes out. I've thought about, maybe playing Warhammer 40k Space Marine that comes out at the end of this year. I thought about playing Hellblade, so we can get ready for Hellblade 2 that I'm really excited about. There's a few options in there that definitely can be up for games that we will be playing through the month of January. But after that, on February 2nd, we will be starting not Final Fantasy. We will be playing Final Fantasy Rebirth. I guess I'll just get that out of the way. So I'm going to try to finish Persona 3 Reload before Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes out. And the reason why I want to try to do that is so I can play both of those games at a very fair rate. But if I don't get past Persona 3 Reload ASAP, I might end up splitting those 2 games and eventually just move everything over to Final Fantasy in the next upcoming weeks after that, so on and so forth. But then we get to March 22nd of 2024, and this is going to be a very interesting one because 2 big games are coming out during that time. That is Dragon Dogma 2 and Rise of the Ronin. And I'm really excited for both of these games, but one of them has to be let go from my sight of grasp for a little while. And the reason why is because there's no way that I can try to play both of these games and get them done in an adequate amount of time. And going from there, depending on what I play, definitely will set up on what we'll be playing in April. So Fallout London is coming out in April, at the very end of April. And we will be playing that mod. It looks amazing. It looks incredible. And I personally cannot wait to play that mod. That being said, that's probably going to be the big games that we will be playing at the beginning of this year. So, first, we're currently playing Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. We're probably going to move on to Dragon Dogma, probably next week, more than likely. And then, if we have a little bit of time left, probably throw a Warhammer, a 40k Space Marine, or a Hellblade in there. Just to kind of, overall have something to play during that week until Persona 3 Reload comes out. Then Reload will come out February 2nd, and then we will play that all the way until, and probably after that, until Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out on February 29th. And then we have to make a decision that probably, if I make a decision now, is probably going to be Dragon Dogma 2 before Rise of the Ronin. If I was going to play Rise of the Ronin, it might be later this year that I play it. That being said, it doesn't mean that I'm not super excited. If we have time, sometime in May, I will probably play Rise of the Ronin before the big event happens in June. And yeah, and then we'll go from that, from Dragon Dogma or Rise of the Ronin to Fallout London, and we'll play Fallout London to the end of this year, to the end, not the end of this year, geez Louise, to the end of May probably. If we have enough time, maybe like 3 weeks in, you know, 3 to 2 weeks left of the month, I might start Rise of the Ronin and try to finish it in those couple of weeks. It probably isn't that long of a game, to be honest, so we might end up doing that at the end of May. But I feel like that's what is going to happen. And then we have the big announcement that I will be announcing in the next part of this whole video, but mostly only a release date for that. But yeah, I hope this is helpful on figuring out what I'm planning on playing through the rest of the first half of this year. And I will definitely be making another one of these videos probably after the whole E3 time, after Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, all of them have their streams up and stuff like that, their live events and so on and so forth. And then probably after that, I will make another video on the games that we're planning on playing at the end of this year, and kind of give everyone kind of a scope on what we'll be playing. I decided, first thing first, I want to address this too. I decided to restructure this type of video. And this might be a little bit out of context a little bit, but I kind of want to mention this. The last time I made one of these videos, I kind of mentioned, here's every game I want to play. This time, I kind of restructured on, these are the main games I'm definitely going to play. Dragon Dogma, Dark Arisen, Persona 3, Final Fantasy 7, Dragon Dogma, and then Fallout London. Those are your big main games. Everything else kind of down the line, like Hellblade, Warhammer 40k Space Marine, Rise of the Ronin, those are going to be games to fill out if we have time, right? So I think this is probably better for me to do it this way, of like, these are the main games we're going to be playing, and then after that, if we have time, I will play other games that are a little short, a little bit sweet, and be able to finish them in maybe a week or two and be perfectly fine. That being said, let's move on to the next part, and that is the announcement date for what is going to be going on during the summer. So I'm going to make this portion pretty brief, and what this is an announcement date for the summer event that I want to do over the summer. And this is pretty much from June 1st all the way to the last day of August. And I'm not going to mention the title of what I'm planning on doing, but I will mention a date. And I think mentioning a date is very important for me to do. So, on May 4th, 2024, I'm going to say around 12 o'clock, I will officially be announcing what we're planning on doing over the summer. And I think this event is going to be really fun. I think the event is going to be interesting, let alone. But yeah. So keep your eyes open on May 4th, 2024 for the big announcement for our summer event. So this portion's kind of coming in a little bit late. And that being said, I completely forgot to add this. but I want to talk about my road to 1 year anniversary. So if anyone knows, I started streaming on April 9th, 2023 on Eastern, and this is pretty much the road to lead into this. So there might be some questions like, is there going to be a big event? Is there going to be a big thing happening? Like, what's going on with that and stuff like that? And I'm definitely going to address it right here. So the first thing to say is I had a lot of plans originally for my 1 year. Some things will still be able to do for my 1 year, but some of them won't be. One of them is a V2 model. I was going to see if I could contact an artist for a V2 model, like a brand new V2 model. And I realized on how pricey they were. So, that being said, that's probably not going to happen for my 1 year. Maybe in my 2 years. We'll definitely see about that. But one of the things I want to do is get new overlays. I want to get an emblem for myself. For all of my YouTube, Twitch, everything, and really focus on that a lot more. I want to do some creative things for my 1 year, but overall, we're probably just going to play the same game that we do, but I will change it up a little bit. That we'll add some multiplayer games in there, and get the community in and play some video games with the community and stuff like that. If I can get people to play and stuff like that. Off of that, if not, then whatever game we're playing in April is the game that we're playing. That being said, I think it's important for me to put this in this video because I almost forgot about it. But there was a lot of stuff I wanted to do that's not going to be fruition. But you know what? There's always next year. But yeah, let's move on to the actual final part of this. So, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you very much for listening to everything that I needed to say. There might be some stuff that I completely forgot to add in this video, but it might be some things that I could just tweet out later if I remember. For the video and stuff like that, kind of give more context to some stuff. But overall, this is what I wanted to say, and this is what I wanted to talk about in this video. From the stuff that happened last year, to my road to 1 year anniversary, to what games I'm planning on playing on Twitch, what's going to go on with YouTube and TikTok and Twitch, and time changes and all this stuff. Trying to just make a tweet per se was not going to be reasonable to do this. So definitely a video was definitely needed to address a lot of this stuff. And that being said, I want to say one final time, thank you all for, watching, this video, watching my streams. 2023, like I said, was a very rough year for me, and one of the biggest things that happened was me streaming. And one of the things that I love doing is streaming. I love just talking to people. I love having a good time, and I love playing the video games that I play and stuff like that. That being said, how this is the outro of this video, the one thing I'm definitely going to say is, let's make 2024 better than 2023. And I hope everyone out there stay safe, stay happy. And I'll catch you in the next video, depending if it's another one of these style videos or just a let's play. But I hope everyone has a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.